call the committee of whole meeting to order, 6:54 on April the 11th.
I love this agenda, by the way.
Pardon me?
I said I love the agenda.
It's interesting, isn't it? All right. Item first up is 2.1 firefighter training, a request from the fire chief.
What had happened is in the past, the fire chief had brought forward a recommendation to pass a bylaw for first reading. Is it related to increasing the amount of training sessions we'll be having to 4 a month rather than 2? And the question was brought forward by council, if you didn't change it in your budget, where are you getting it from inside your budget? Basically, the additional training is going to be covered from the deputy fire chief wage position because there was quite a big difference in the wages, so that's where that's coming from. So my recommendation is to bring forward that bylaw for first reading at the next meeting.
Okay. Perfect. Any questions? Any thoughts? Any concerns?
The money was already budgeted for wages,
Sure.
and
No,
the
I
wages are
realize.
lesser.
So $13,000 is going to cover a double?
Yep, because he had already had 13,000 for half of it.
He did?
Yep,
For
it was in his budget
regular
already for
trainings,
his 2
30?
sessions, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Sorry, just to, okay, so, but this, obviously this is something that he's going to want to continue to doing in years to come.
Yep.
So we've changed the position of deputy fire chief to the chief, what is it?
Fire prevention.
Fire prevention officer, sorry, there's so many like titles running through my mind. So we're probably going to give him an increase in pay over the years, right? So next year, is he still gonna have that $13,000 to cover? I guess, I
He
mean,
might
that's
have a
something to
little
think
less.
about
He
for
may have
next
to
year.
increase his budget a
Just
little
something
bit
to
in the
keep in
future,
mind,
yeah.
that he's not always gonna have that extra wages cushion
Agreed.
sitting
Let's
there, right?
also
So-
keep in mind that the fire chief is working quite hard at developing the current practice grounds we have and is looking forward to opening up a fire college in the north that nobody gets to go to for free.
That's true.
And so that'll help.
I don't think anybody had a problem with the training. If the training's
No,
required and the
not at
training's,
all.
like, it's just.
No,
it's
it
It was
not
just a question of
$100.
where the money was
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
from. Yeah.
We want our firefighters to be the best trained firefighters in the world.
Absolutely.
Is that going to put a strain on recruiting firefighters?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Will that put a strain on recruiting firefighters?
I asked that question at the last
sure.
time
Okay,
this
thanks.
came up, and the answer was that the presumption is, and the answer was that the chief has requested it because they feel like they need it.
They
Yeah.
need that. They need that.
That the
Meet the standards.
firefighters themselves understand what that means and they want that.
I mean, I've spoken to a couple of the people on the fire department, they have no issue with it at all. All right, anything else? Perfect, okay, we'll move on then. 3.1, Community and Regional Planning Branch.
As you're aware, we signed a joint resolution, or both the Yarmouth Kelsey and the Town of the Paw signed a resolution for a joint planning district.
Right.
Brett is going to be available to come up at the end of April. And he's asking for 3 days. He doesn't believe it'll take 3 days, but he's asked for 3 days to meet with the councils. And he's looking at the last week. April 25th is our committee of the whole meeting. So anytime around the 25th to the 29th, where does that fit in with your schedules?
Fits in perfect with mine, I'm not here.
I'm not here either,
All
actually.
those days.
I think it's important that you guys have that input. Maybe we'll ask for alternate dates.
Yep, I'm here before that week. The week after would be preferable.
Like as in next week? You're here next week?
I am here next week, but that's a pretty packed week
Packed.
because
Well, that's
I'm
what you said the
away
week before, yeah.
The week after would be preferable.
So the first week of May.
I'm
I'm away.
the first week of May either.
Yeah.
Which
So
was second
second
or
week
third
of May?
Sure. After that, I'm not away anywhere, I'm just here.
If he doesn't need the meetings to take up all 3 days, I'd rather, if we're going to miss any meeting, miss a morning or afternoon one.
Yep. We'll see if we can condense it.
Yeah, like do an evening one and then like a,
Okay, you'll let us know?
Yes, we will.
Perfect. 3.2, Community Futures North Central Development.
Mayor Scott, you had met with Tim Johnson, who's the manager of the Community Futures North Central Development Corporation, and he wants to make a presentation of Northern Values. We were wondering if we can include this on the April 25th Committee of the Whole or the May 19th, or May 9th. It's a 20-minute presentation.
Yeah, it's about 15, 20 minutes. It's worthwhile seeing.
Which would you prefer?
I'm not here at the last week of April, so I've seen it.
So the last week of April is okay for you?
Sure.
You're not here though, right, Andrew?
That's okay.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Yeah, he's pretty on top of the board. Okay. All right, we'll move on then. 4.1, the Co-ed Slow Pitch League.
As you're aware, we've had a maintenance agreement with the DePaul Slow Pitch. It's been working out very well. They seem quite happy. It's a little bit of a less headache for us. We received no complaints from anybody. In my opinion, they've been doing a very well job. So we're going to be looking at a new maintenance agreement with them. Also, they're looking at some diamond upgrades, and they want to help out with a little bit of this, whether it be physical labor or getting access to equipment. And I think it's great that they're taking the initiative to assist the town of DePaul with this development. Also, they're looking at having provincials this summer, and they're looking at some hotel tax funding. So the provincials are taking place the end of June to July 3rd. So basically, they're going to have something coming forward as to some sort of financial statement, what they're planning and what they're looking at for money.
Okay,
So,
we passed some bylaws tonight that should be able to assist.
yeah, and there's going to be a resolution coming forward to enter into that agreement. And what I'll do is I'll ask them again for some kind of a financial report that we can consider to take, and we can look at using our community enhancement even until this other stuff is done. That's part of our problem right now is our hotel, our accommodation tax stuff isn't quite in place yet. So we may have to borrow from the community enhancement for now and move it around once that's approved through the province.
Yep,
Is that okay with you guys?
Yep.
no issues, I don't think so. I can't imagine. All right, 4.2, payroll and accounts.
Basically, general accounts in the amount of 184,646 and payroll accounts for 94,134 for pay period 7, so a resolution will be forthcoming. You'll notice there was a $40,000 check to the library, and that was just at the last meeting. You've seen that they had requested their grant for operating.
Sorry, I just have one thing on that. When are we going to get like a little bit more in-depth financial report?
I think as soon as your budget stuff is done, you're going to have all your in-depth financial reports.
Okay, just
That's
wondering,
been
because we
her
haven't seen,
priority.
I know she's been
Yeah.
busy with audit stuff and
I
whatever,
agree.
but just that we haven't seen one in a bit.
Yep.
So.
Okay, 4.3, CDC lease agreement.
Basically, there was a directive to move forward with, Councillor Gibb was suggested to help develop a better lease. I don't know if you guys want these to all start going through lawyers. I personally believe that we need to get a little bit of a grasp on what we have for bills and stuff like that. I think we should pretty much stick to a year of this and then look at what's moving forward and change them all for 2017 if that's what needs to happen.
Okay, a year of what?
A year of what our existing agreement was basically just $1. There
Okay.
was no nothing else.
Okay,
And like leave all of our tenants as
Leave
is.
everything for now until we have a grasp on it, because right now you're midway through with some of the agreements. And that's not really fair to them to go back and say, by the way, we're jacking this all up. Plus, we need to get the billings from them to see what is a break-even point. And I agree with you, we do need to probably look at what it's operating at, but we need to move forward with that for 2017. So
Yeah.
I'm asking if we stick with what we have in place.
yeah, probably not a good idea to chase our.
Yeah, this will need a resolution then.
My issue is that, I mean, at some point, we have to set this up properly. Just
Yes,
think of 5 years down
correct.
the road, this is an asset, we want to get rid of it. This lease, you're going to get hammered, right? Because what's it worth? Well, we gave this guy for free, and this guy doesn't pay that, and the guy buying it's going to say, well, I'm not paying what you want for it, because I don't know what's going on there, right? So you need to set it up properly. And I'm not saying it has to go to Winnipeg to the top lawyers in town, but, I mean, there's lawyers in town here that do this kind of stuff. That's not an expensive,
Okay,
it's not an
so
expensive proposition.
we have direction on we want to get this done.
I
Right?
believe we
For
need to know what
2017,
we're
right?
dealing with. Yes, I believe we need to know what we're dealing with, and we need to go through the cycle of 2016.
Fair enough.
Because even if you're going to be sending that to a
Yeah.
lawyer, you need to provide them with the facts with it, which
Sure.
we don't necessarily have because we've not been involved on the onset.
Well, we got lots of notice here, we're going to have something
Yep.
in effect for 2017, January 1st.
Are
Okay.
all the lease agreements yearly in January?
Yeah.
They are?
Well, they're March, yeah.
March. Okay,
Because
well,
they run on
whatever, yeah.
the
So-
corporation's
So
facilities.
maybe we should be letting our tenants know
Yep.
that this
That
is
we're going to be
coming.
reviewing them moving forward.
Right. And that we're going to, then you're going to bring a resolution forward at our next council meeting to
To go with what we
head
have.
on. Okay,
Yeah.
any other questions?
There was a question raised, so are you wanting us to send all agreements now to solicitors or just this one?
I don't see a need really for us to send this to a lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you?
Guys,
you know what you're talking
I
about.
send all my lease stuff to a lawyer. I don't know, you can do what you want, right? Like, it's everyone's decision, but you're setting, to me, you're setting yourself so up, but I mean, if
Let's
that's
take
what
the
you want
advice
to do.
of our
then you
counselor
should.
who has many, many many, many, many tenants.
For agreements, how many lease agreements do you have in a year? I don't know, that I couldn't answer.
How many leases do we have?
Depends where you're talking.
Yeah,
Airport.
Airport has
probably
leases, yep. We have them all over the place.
10, and we're constantly doing agreements.
That's why I was under the impression that you were going to point out some of the things that you felt weren't necessarily addressed in here.
But that's why I go, like, for me, that's why I go to a lawyer. I just want to make sure, if it's myself, that I'm covered, right? And I'm not a lawyer, and I don't want to enter in agreements with someone.
We can send this to a lawyer and have
Let's-
them-
No, I'm just saying in general, I don't, for me to say we're going to send it all, to every document to a lawyer, I don't want to, it could end up being a huge bill, but I don't know how many leases are involved.
I think we're getting some good advice here. This is an expensive asset. It's worth a lot of money, so let's make sure that,
But again, so if we're gonna send it to a lawyer, we still need to know what we're sending it to a lawyer to. We can't just send them the lawyer agreement and say, here you go, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
We need to tell them what exactly we want out of the agreement and what changes we
want
need.
it set up properly, right?
Right,
So
so
it's
I
no
think that we need to have a
so-
conversation so that we know
We do.
exactly what we're saying. Because like I said, you can't just send it off to the lawyer and say, here you go, like, what
I
do you
get
think?
that.
Like,
Like
he'll
I
read
said
it and send us a
before-
bill. I'm sure he'd be happy to do that.
then
but-
why don't we set up a committee of council to look into that? This is why we do this every now and then, and I would highly recommend that you,
Need a committee of council for a lease, guys.
well, listen to these people talking. I think they do.
No, we don't need to decide what the lease agreement should look like. I mean, this is administrative type stuff. It's a lease agreement with somebody to rent a property. A lawyer should review it. It should be pretty boilerplate. It's a pretty standard building. We're providing pretty standard
But it's-
services.
But apparently it's not.
But because at the
But I'm
end of the
hearing
day,
all-
it's a change of, like, we've got to stop saying you get it for $1, you get this for 50 cents, or you don't pay, right? That's not how you operate a small business. That's just asking for trouble, right? And that's where I think that's the issue with that building. Well, you guys can have it and rent it, not these guys, but CDC, keep all the money.
But
Don't worry,
that's
it's not a
what
problem.
we're
But
changing now.
But it's not. That's what I'm saying. We need to change it. But you're saying, no, we'll keep it the same, right? We need to change it so we're going forward in the same page.
The reason for that, Alan, is
Yeah.
because the agreement is already halfway through.
No, I get that. I'm
That's
not-
the only reason why we had suggested hanging
Yeah.
on to it for 2018 or 2017 to change it.
No, that's fine.
Because to go and give them notice now and say, by
It's
the
too
way, that's
late.
all
I
wrong.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you, totally.
So before we can go
Yeah.
any further, that's why I've asked if we can continue with the one we have in place so that at least
then
we
we
have
go
some
off topic.
backup.
I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
an issue. Yeah, that's not.
But I think the issue is, are we going to have the right lease agreement to go forward on January 1st, 2017?
For all
Sure.
of them, not
Yes,
just CDC.
it has to be all of them.
For all of them.
Because I tend to agree that a buck a year is not how you operate. There's got to be a value to it. It's got to be in money out, money in, money out.
But we thought of it like the CDC is doing economic work for the town. So we're kind of giving them, I mean, I know we're giving them a grant, but we're not charging them for office space either. Because, I mean, otherwise that's money in and money out, right? We're their sole funders, we give them the money, and then they're gonna turn around and cut us a check for rent. Like, why don't we just give them less of a grant then?
But what if the CDC wasn't in there in a couple of years and somebody wanted to rent the exact same space? Are we gonna charge them $1 and they get to keep all the rent
Well-
from it? No, but that's what's getting in place, right? It's just, if we're giving them the money, we should be getting the actual cash value, or the actual value of what that asset is worth.
Okay,
at least.
so it is April the 11th. We've got a week or two to get this handled, and so you'll come back to us with a lease agreement then? Is that
I'm
what
coming
you'll...
back to you with a lease agreement that says we're doing it for $1 this year until we get a handle.
Yeah, but I'm talking about going forward. I hate using those words, but there they are.
Yeah, you're not
Okay.
gonna have that information until we do get it from the CDC and know what your billings are.
Okay,
And to me, I'm understanding we're looking at cost recovery right now, and even Jen pointed out, not one office in that building is being charged the same rate.
oh, I know
Because
that.
they're all different sizes.
Yeah.
The way
Yeah,
that.
but there should be
a
they set them up
square
with
foot
square
rate or
footage.
whatever.
Agreed,
Yeah.
based on your expenses.
Yeah, and it should be, that's good. We're on the same page, I think.
Well, I think we are. It's
We're just
crazy.
saying it differently, I think.
Okay. Okay, anything else on that? Perfect. 4.4, Northern Energy Efficiency Challenge.
This was actually something proposed and brought forward by Councillor Gibb in his discussion with Manitoba Hydro, and basically, they're looking at an energy advisor to promote several programs for residential development and commercial development. Manitoba Hydro is wanting to make us one of the energy efficient status in northern Manitoba. So what they wanted to do is they're looking at sponsoring $40,000 towards hiring someone to do this. It's a term position, and they're wanting the town to kind of oversee them as part of our staffing.
Yeah,
They asked kind of what we'd be willing to look at. I think what we could possibly offer is some office space without costing us additional monies.
thoughts?
I think this is great.
Me too.
I think it's going to be nothing but good because of all the energy efficiencies that we can find just around here, but it can also get it out to the community. I think it's going to be a great program.
And again, it's for both commercial and residential.
Yeah, it's for everything, and that's awesome. It's going to be nice to see somebody from Manitoba Hydro
Well-
actually running these programs, because when you look on their website, they're big programs, but they're not being ran out of the phone very well, so.
And my concern was with the town of Paw taking ownership of these employees. None of us are experts on any of their programming, and they said that they would basically set them up with someone within their department to help guide them.
Oh, sorry, we're hiring somebody?
We're the ones that are going to be responsible for them, yes.
Okay, I was under the impression when I read it that
No.
they were going to be providing somebody, but okay.
No, I know.
Whatever, but I think that's going to be good.
Yep.
I think we could get a gold star from Manitoba Hydro.
So basically, it'll be a resolution coming forward to enter into the agreement. I don't know if any of you have taken the opportunity to look at the agreement.
Yeah.
I have.
So basically, some of the in-kind I believe that we can offer is providing them office space upstairs in the recreation area.
Perfect. Anything else on that item? Okay, can you please move us in, Cameron?
Be it resolved that we now do move ourselves into the in-camera portion of the committee of the whole meeting to discuss matters requiring our attention with the Honorable Mayor Scott in the chair.
Thank you. Good evening,
I think
everyone.
I said that backwards a little.